we like to get big-name coaches here on Texas Football
right.
Today, and so why not make a call over to Hazlitt, talk with the newest program in Northwest ISD, the burgeoning Northwest ISD. We are joined by the head coach of the Eaton Eagles, Coach Ellis Miller. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Appreciate you battling through some technical difficulties with us to hop on the phone with us.
Not a problem.
I want to flash back to about a year ago, even about 10 months ago. You were Brad Turner, the head coach at Eaton, moved into an administrative role, and you as one of the coordinators got promoted to interim head coach. And then you kind of went on like a 2-week kind of lull over the spring, and you didn't really know what the situation was going to be. Eventually, in May, they did what I think was the right move and took off the interim tag and made you the head coach. I'm interested about the feeling that day when you finally got the call that, yes, you're going to be the head coach, you're not just a placeholder. What was that moment like for you?
It was pretty surreal. The AD, he asked to meet me. I had a meeting with the coaches that morning, and he asked to meet me before then. And I said, that's fine. So I met him, and we walked down to the principal's office, and him and the principal told me that, they needed some stability. The coaches needed some stability, needed to know who was going to be in charge, so they didn't start looking for jobs. They wanted to make sure that their jobs were intact, and then the kids, too, they needed stability. So they said they were going to take the interim tag off. I did a good job through the spring. So for me, it was, like I say, I've been wanting to be a head coach since I was 4 years old, so it was a pretty surreal moment.
And it's your first head coaching job in your first year. You guys go 6-6, and now have a playoff win over Sherman. And I mean, if I may say so, I think that the win over Northwest was pretty big as well. You talk about beating Big Brother out there, but I want to focus especially on that win over Sherman. A playoff win for this Eagles program, for still a young kind of burgeoning program. How big was that moment for you guys to get that first playoff win under your belt?
It's always something that you can build on when you have success in the postseason. And for us, we got a pretty good lead, and we felt like we had it, but it was one of those where they've never been there. They don't have the experience, and experience is one of those things, you have to take the test before you get the knowledge. And I was really nervous there towards the end because they were making a little run, and we were trying to hang on. But like I say, when the buzzer went off and we were still ahead, it was a pretty good feeling, and I knew the program was going to be moving in the right direction from then on.
You mentioned the program moving in the right direction. This is still a very young program. You guys finished your second varsity season, and now you're moving into, you go through your first realignment and all of this fun stuff. Obviously a step forward in year two. You go from 3-7 in the first year back in 2016, and then to 6-6 and a playoff win in 2017. I want to ask you, with this young program, do you still feel like there's growing going on as a program, or do you feel like you guys are kind of an established thing right now?
No, there's always growing going on, and one of the hardest things when you open a school that I've found is establishing a work ethic. When I had a short tenure at South Lake Carroll, and I was at Northwest for a little bit, and the work ethic on the good teams, anybody who's coached has seen the difference, and trying to get the kids to understand that work ethic without having seen it. They don't know what that looks like, and we can tell them all we want, but until they see another guy go do it, it's pretty difficult. So for us right now, I think we're starting to understand what that means to work hard, and we're starting to understand what it means to come together as a team, not just a bunch of individuals. So like I say, we're growing every day in both of those categories.
We're talking with Ellis Miller, the head coach of the Eaton Eagles here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, now looking forward to 2018. You guys are heading forward with a pretty experienced crew, 13 starters back from last year's team. I want to ask you specifically about the offseason. What do you want to see in this offseason? Because as much success as you guys had last year, it doesn't mean a hill of beans if you guys don't build on it. What are you looking to see this offseason?
Well, obviously everybody's trying to get bigger, stronger, faster. But for us, more than anything, we lost a couple close games this last year, really 3 that were very winnable, and every one of them came down to us coming together in a team and having leadership. So I would like to see our guys rise up and lead, and the guys who are in the playmaker roles, the guys who are in the starting roles who are coming back, if they could step into a leadership role, I think, and they've done that so far. It's still kind of early in our off season, but if they could do that, I feel like our program, like I say, it would definitely take another step forward.
One of the guys I know you guys are really excited about is running back kinda, but more of a do-it-all athlete, Titus Swin. I know a guy who put on a show last year, nearly 2,500 yards of total offense. This kid is lightning in a bottle. As the guy who gets to see him, every day in practice, what is it about him that makes him special?
He is a pretty just gifted athlete. I mean, he's a guy that was messing around in the indoor one day and did a backflip over another kid just to do it, and his feet were. I think his feet were 12 feet in the air. That's coaching, is what that is. We do that drill every day. But no, his want to win is pretty high, especially on Friday nights when the lights come on. I don't know. It's you only have a couple of these guys you coach in your career, and he's one of them. When the lights come on, he turns something on that's pretty special.
Defensively, you guys had you had moments where your defense really shined last year, and other times when it struggled. Looking forward to 2018, what do you want to see from your defense? What should we expect defensively from your Eagles?
I think we took some great strides last year. Not a lot of people know this, but we were the most improved defense in 5A. Mm-hmm. We improved by 26 points a game, which, when you play 9 starters that were sophomores the year before, it's pretty easy to do because they all come back as juniors. But for us, we got to a point last year where we were playing pretty physical. And it was the first time I'd really seen it about midway, about the Northwest game. We started actually tackling like we've been teaching and playing the game in a physical way. So for us, if we could fly around and be more physical, heck with the X's and O's, I would like to see that first.
We're talking with Ellis Miller, the head coach of the Eaton Eagles here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. All right, Coach, finally, I know you're a busy man. We want to let you get back at it, but you are an Angelo State alum. You're an Angelo State Ram and a guy who I believe I read you were a 2-time Lone Star Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Okay. So then I want to ask you about the Rams. Coach Will Wagner, moving things in the right direction. Nice year this year, back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I want to know overall. You look at your alma mater. What do you think about your Rams?
I love what Coach Wagner's doing. I feel like they're very close. I feel like I get to go watch them about once or twice a year, and I always make the trip when they come to Commerce or they go to Midwestern, and so they're playing the right style of football. It's just, they just need the ball to bounce in their way a couple times, and they'd be a Commerce. Mm-hmm. They'd be that same Cinderella story, and I think he's got them going in the right direction where that could be them.
Well, another guy who's got his team going in the right direction, Ellis Miller, the head coach of the Eaton Eagles. Coach, appreciate your time. Thanks for battling through the technical difficulties with us. Appreciate your time.
No problem.
Best of luck in the offseason and down the road.
Thank you, sir.
There he goes, Ellis Miller, head coach, the Eaton Eagles. Really appreciate him bearing with us. That was
super weird.
You guys were texting, so you're texting. So
but our phones won't connect.
Weird.
I don't know. I don't know.
And Eaton's an interesting program because it's, for years and years and years, it was just Northwest ISD. Northwest ISD was just in Northwest.
Yeah.
Then they opened, basically in the span of 5 years.
Yeah.
They opened Byron Nelson in Trophy Club, and then they opened Eaton in Haslett. For those who don't know, Northwest ISD is a massive school district.
Right.
I mean that both in terms of number of students, as well as just square footage, square mileage.
Yeah.
It's a huge school
geographic
district.
area.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they're an interesting bunch, and I think that when you've got a playmaker like Titus Swin, they're going to have an opportunity to make some noise. Now, look, realignment probably didn't do them many favors. District 5, 6A, they're getting drawn in the Geyer-Carroll district.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to be in that mix. I think they're going to be fighting for that last playoff spot. And I think they've got a really good shot. I think we know they got a good coach there in Ellis Miller.